So why do we rationalize the denominator when it is irrational? So back in the day we had this, if you had a problem like this, the square root of 7 over 3, you would have had to break out tables and figure out what this thing is. Because square root of 7, even though you could do it like this, square root of 7 divided by the square root of 3. And we know square root of 7 is pretty close to 9, so the square root of 9 is 3, so it's under 3. Well, it's approximately 2.6, sorry, I didn't mean to put that point there, 64575, dot, dot, dot. And the same with the square root of 3, it's a little less than the square root of 4, which is 2, so it's a little less than 2. Well, in fact, it's 1.73205, dot, dot, dot. And so the only way to divide these numbers that everybody would use is the division algorithm, which is 2.64. You'd put 2.64575 dot 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 inside the radical. Dot 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 means it keeps going, it's irrational. And out here you have 1.73205 dot dot dot. It keeps going on and on forever. And you would simplify it by moving the decimal over so many places until you ran out of decimals. Well, this is irrational. This number never ends. You could keep going and on and on and on forever. So this causes a problem when you're trying to divide these. So what we do instead is a process called rationalization to help that out. We're going to rationalize that denominator so we don't have a decimal to do at the bottom. So we've got, square root of 7 over square root of 3, which is the square root of 7 divided by the square root of 3. And we're going to multiply this thing by a really fancy 1 so that it doesn't change the number any, because anything times 1 is still the same number. So we're going to take it times the square root of 3 over the square root of 3, which is 1. So you end up with the square root of 21 over the square root of 9, and we know the square root of 9 is 3. So now the problem becomes the square root of 21 divided by 3. And so there was an approximation for the square root of 21, and mathematicians probably had books of these, which is 4.58258 dot dot dot. Goes on and on forever. You could, your tables could go as long as they wanted. I'm sure there was ways to approximate the decimals, methods that I've have long since vanished. For me anyway. I'm sure they're out there. We can find them. And we're going to divide that by 3. So we're going to do this problem now. So the square root of 21 is approximately 4.58258 dot dot dot. We're going to divide that by 3 and just use the division algorithm. Well, 3 goes into 4 one time. We subtract that, we get 1. Bring down the next term is 5. 3 goes into 15. Whoops, almost forgot my decimal. So 1.5 is 15. Subtract that, 0. Bring down the next term is 8. So 3 goes into 8 approximately 2 times, which is 6. Subtract that, and you get the idea. So the answer is about 1.52. Well, nowadays, we can just use a calculator, and you can see I have the answer already in here. So you can just, this one's a Google, the Google calculator on Google search engine. And so you just take it and take the square root of 21. Well, actually, sorry, that's the rationalized one. The square root is 7. You get your answer, which is 2.6 blah 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 for lots of decimals, divided by the square root of 3. Close your parenthesis, hit equals, and there we have it. There's the approximation, 1.5275, without doing any rationalization. Well, you can see now, back in the day, they had to have something to make it work. Now, will someday teachers not teach how to rationalize the denominator? I don't know. I think it still has some value in today's age, just in understanding what numbers, what you can do with numbers. So I think we're going to continue to teach it, because I think things that are of no value go away on their own. Um, most people don't know how to ride a horse anymore, how to cue a horse. Well, instead they know how to, in America anyway, or in other developed countries, they know how to drive a car. Yeah, those things die of their own accord. So this will maybe be something eventually that will die, but for now, you're just going to have to continue to learn it, because I guarantee it's on most college entrance exams. You need to find the exact value of square root of 7 over 3, and they just call it rationalizing the denominator and simplifying. So you have to be able to do this in order to get into that college you want to get into. And like I say, it's kind of a neat exercise in itself. So I hope this helps you understand why we rationalize the denominator, and I will see you next time.